Okay, welcome world history. This is my second go. I already had to do one and it didn't work the way I wanted it to. So what I do need to tell you is I only have 15 minutes per segment, so I'm going to have to move quickly and you can bring your questions to office hours. Okay, first thing we need to note on the map here, get yourself a little timeline going. World War I occurred from 1914 to 1918. Okay, it was supposed to be a war that was over in a matter of weeks, but this was all changed by the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution brought new weapons and new warfare. All right, we got bogged down, and it ends up being a long 4-year war. Next thing I need you to note is that World War I was primarily fought in Europe. However, by the time World War I is done, some 6 countries will have participated in one way or another. All those colonies that had been taken by the Europeans will send soldiers and arms and money and things like that. And the other thing I want you to note on the map is that in Europe there will be two distinctive fronts, and a front is where the fighting occurs. Okay, so there will be the Eastern Front along here, and it will move, and there will be the Western Front. Those two fronts, if you notice, are on the other side of Germany and Austria-Hungary. They are in the middle here. That's how they got their name, the Central Powers. It also puts them in a predicament because they are fighting a two-front war. We saw that with Napoleon. Okay, you got enemies on either side of you. Okay, the war, if you guys all did your mania sheet, the war has long-term causes and short-term causes. And before long-term, okay, so we had our long-term causes, and then we had our short-term, which is I like to call it the spark that started the war. Okay, and we'll come back to mania in a second. I always put a line onto that last A because that's the assassination, and that is a short-term cause. Okay, throughout the 1800s, we just got done studying imperialism, right? And all these European countries were out colonizing the world. This caused extreme competition. This caused a lot of tension as they tried to create these colonies and trade for wealth. And then again, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand will be the spark that kicks off the war. You need to familiarize yourself with the two alliances that Europe ended up in. Major countries of Europe. The Triple Alliance would be Germany, Austria, Hungary, and Italy. And the Triple Entente would be Great Britain, France, and Russia. There were historical reasons, as we'll see on the next page, as to why those two camps, those two alliances created themselves. Okay. The first long-term cause of World War I is militarism. Militarism is the policy of glorifying war, glorifying military power, keeping a large army. This large army will be prepared and ready to go to battle at any moment. It's the buildup of weapons and troops. That's called an arms race. It's the developing of detailed plans for war. Everything revolving around war here. Okay, the buildup of the navy, etc., etc. The second long-term cause is the alliances, which we just saw here. Okay, why did certain countries gravitate toward others? An alliance. I have your back, you have my back. Okay. This stemmed from the unification of Germany. Germany used to be 5 independent states. Otto von Bismarck unified the 5 into a giant German empire. He did so through war. Germany and France had a war. It was called the Franco-Prussian War. Germany won, France lost. Germany thought France wanted revenge. A whole bunch of this is a matter of perspective, how one country views the other or views an event. um, because Germany was convinced that France wanted revenge, Germany started to approach Austria-Hungary. Would you like to have an alliance? I got your back, you got my back. Italy joined in on that, and boom, we got the Triple Alliance. From the other perspective, you have to understand France is watching this, and France is saying, oh, well, they're allied with them. Maybe I should get myself an ally. Um, Kaiser Wilhelm II, which will be the Kaiser, just simply means king in German. Okay, Kaiser Wilhelm II lets his treaty with Russia lapse. Lapse means it's over, it's outdated. And he does not ask Russia to re sign it or to renew like you would a library book. Well, from Russia's perspective, they see the fact that Germany did not renew it as Germany was going a different direction. So Germany and France start looking to each other as allies. Okay? Great Britain is watching Germany militarize. They're creating a huge navy. Germany's Germany is basically scaring Great Britain. So Great Britain says, hey, France, hey, Russia, want an alliance? And boom, we have a triple entente. We have everybody in Europe squared off with one another. Let's get to the last two long-term causes. They are nationalism. Nationalism is a new, uh, well, we've talked about it once or twice before, but it's going to be a very strong concept. It's going to be a deep devotion or a pride for one's country. It's going to involve patriotism, but it's also going to involve a lot of competition to make your nation best. It's basically what we saw during imperialism, create the largest empire that you can. Um, Nationalism can unify a country, it can bring it together, make it stronger, or it can cause fierce rivalries between countries. Okay? One of those specific regions will be the Balkans. I'll get to that in a minute. And the fourth long-term cause is imperialism. From imperialism, from 50 years of colonizing the world, we get a lot of mistrust and tension among the competition for land. Okay? And then along comes the assassination of Franz Ferdinand, and that will be the spark that lights the fire. Same map. This map is basically showing the two alliances and once war begins. Okay, the Balkan region. It is important to understand this region and its role. This area right here is called the Balkan Peninsula. If you look carefully, the Balkan Peninsula, this area of Russia, see this red shaded area, these are Slavic people. That is an ethnic. Okay. There's a lot of Slavs in Russia, and there's a lot of Slavs in this area of the Balkan Peninsula, specifically Serbia. Russia kind of viewed Serbia as their little brother. They wanted to look out for them, their Slavic brothers. The Balkan region is referred to by historians as the powder keg, kind of like one of those kegs of gunpowder that you would see in the cartoons. One spark hits it, and boom. The Austro-Hungarian Empire, who was allied with Germany, had taken this region for their own. They had annexed it. Well, Serbia itself, nationalism, wanted to become its own country. The Austro-Hungarians said, no, you're part of us. The Russians backed the Serbs. I'll let you guys look at that slide on your own. We talked about militarism. Here's some of the pictures. To build bigger weapons, bigger armies. Okay, let's get to the outbreak. So let me explain the relationship here. We saw that Austria-Hungary controlled Serbia. Serbia wanted to be independent. They wanted to break this tie. Austria-Hungary said no. Russia backed Serbia. So we have a lot of tension in 1914 between Austria-Hungary and Russia over Serbia. Serbians wanting independence, not getting it, and there was a terrorist group called the Black Hand. And they said if we can't get independence, we will make independence. In June of 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, this guy right here, Archduke basically means he will be the next king. Okay, so this is the next king and the next queen. Archduke Franz Ferdinand is assassinated. That's the last A. It's the last A in Mania, the assassination. Okay. He is assassinated by Gavrilo Princip, this guy, member of the Black Hand. Why is this significant in this story? Because the Black Hand was a Serbian terrorist group. Austria-Hungary just lost their future king and queen because they were assassinated by this Serbian. They want revenge. Austria-Hungary wanted revenge but feared Russia. Well, who was Austria-Hungary's ally? Germany. Germany says, do what you want, we got your back. He basically wrote him a blank check. Austria-Hungary sends an ultimatum, which is a list of demands, to Serbia that you better do this, 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 and this, or else. Serbia rejects the ultimatum. Austria-Hungary declares war on Serbia. Russia is upset because that's their little brother. Russia starts mobilizing troops. If we look back to the map, okay, Austria-Hungary declares war on Serbia. Russia is angry, starts mobilizing troops to the border just in case a war would happen. They could not do a full mobilization. Germany starts getting a little nervous at troops. Austria-Hungary starts getting a little nervous at troops. And soon all members of the alliances are drawn into war. Okay. Germany responds quickly, warns Russia to stop mobilization. Russia ignores. And basically on August 4th, Great Britain declares war on Germany, as Germany had declared war on Russia, and boom, we have a war.